been tough.
Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to this meeting of the Drainage District Board of Directors, posted for today, July the 11th, 2017. Present are Commissioners Precinct 1 and Commissioner Precinct 4 and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we just give you thanks today for just the great day that you've given us. Thank you for the opportunity to come serve you today, Lord. Father God, we just continue to ask for your wisdom, your understanding, your peace, Lord, that you provide that to this elected board that you've appointed, Father God, to lead this great county of ours. Give them that wisdom to make those decisions that we know are difficult but must be made, Lord. They may seek you when making those difficult decisions, Lord. Father God, we ask for your wisdom, your understanding, to myself, my staff, and all the leaders of this great county as we make decisions that we know affect us all, Lord. Continue to bless this board, continue to be with them, and myself and the rest of the staff, that we work as if we're working for you, Lord. I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Under open forum, anyone sign up?
Yes, sir, we do have some. Josabel Heredia. Heredia. I'm sorry, Heredia.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Josabel Heredia. Venimos de la colonia La Piñata, la ciudad de Andona. Mi vecina Verónica también. Hace unos meses empezaron un proyecto de reconstrucción del drenaje ahí en la colonia, pero han parado las obras y nuestra duda como colonos ahí es de que está en la entrada, la calle es la entrada principal de la colonia, y al parar las obras está un poco feo el tránsito allí, y nuestra duda es cómo está el proyecto, el estatus del proyecto ahora, porque ahora con la temporada de lluvias pues sí se va a poner un poquito peor la situación de nosotros ahí en la entrada, y se corre el riesgo de accidente porque aparte no hay protección ahí a los lados en la calle, en la de esta entrada, al lado del dren, y nada más, era
I'm going to translate. My name's Josabeth Heredia. I'm from Donna, Texas, the Colonia La Piñata, and I came here to inquire about a project of reconstruction as far as drainage that was started a few months ago. The project was stopped, and I really wanted to inquire what the status was, because with the rains coming, it gets really difficult to get across and basically just get my kids to and from places. So we just came here to inquire that. Thank you so much for your time.
We'll have somebody reach out and we'll give you a status update on that project.
We'll do it after the meeting with the commission. We have a real good update on that project. So
Okay, great.
We'll visit with them.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rosa María Valle.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Rosa María Valles y venimos de Precinto 1 con la organización Rise. Y esto va dirigido al comisionado David Fuentes, que queremos agradecerle que nos haya enviado a sus representantes a escuchar las diferentes necesidades que tenemos en nuestra comunidad. Y ya se reflejó ayer, se instalaron los señalamientos de tráfico, lo cual traerá más seguridad a nuestros niños, y estamos muy agradecidos en nombre de toda la comunidad. Muchísimas gracias por su atención.
Hi, good morning. I'm going to translate. Hi, good morning. My name is Rosa Maria Valle. We come from Precinct 1, Colonia Presidio, and this message is directed towards Commissioner David Fuentes. We would just like to thank you for sending your representatives in our last meeting last Monday to listen to our different needs that we have in our community. We already seen the change that's reflected with traffic signals, which will bring more safety to our children. And we just want to thank you for that, and we hope to collaborate in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Muchísimas gracias por venir.
The last participant is Andrea Landeros.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Andrea Landeros y trabajo en la organización Arise y estoy aquí esta mañana para agradecer al comisionado Cantú y al señor Cecín, pues el jueves de la semana pasada estuvieron con los residentes de Plenavista compartiendo sobre las mejoras que vienen para esa comunidad y ahora pues han iniciado el proyecto, ¿verdad?, a poner tubería nueva en toda la comunidad para que cuando llueva pueda tener un desagüe donde escurra el agua y ya no tengan este problema en esta comunidad. Y pues para decirle al comisionado que estamos aquí para servirle y continuar con la colaboración para la mejora de la vida, la calidad de la vida de los residentes de las colonias. Muchas gracias, comisionado Cantú.
I'm going to translate. Good morning, my name is Andrea Landeros. I work with Arise, and I'm here this morning to thank Commissioner Cantú and Mr. Cecín. Last Thursday we had a meeting in Plena Vista where we talked to the residents, and the improvements of these communities were shared for the new upcoming project in the pipelines for drainage, which they suffered in 2015, lots of flooding, and now with this installment in this upcoming project of these pipelines, this is going to keep it from the floodings. We're just here to thank you for your service and your collaboration. We're here to serve you in any way we can. Thank you.
Was that it, brother?
Yes, sir.
Our consent agenda, any concern?
No, sir, no concerns.
Move for approval of consent agenda.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 4A.
Okay. Request approval of notice to suspend work issued to Jimenez Engineering Solutions LLC, DBA International Consulting Engineers related to construction contract CHCDD 11700502221, former Callan South Drain outfall improvements at U.S. IBWC main floodway effective 5/23/17. The reason we're requesting this, we're ordering some gates, and there's a lead time, usually 4 to 6 months to get the gates in and everything. So,
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item, you can tell Monica's not here, right? Because we got 4A. All right. Item B, requesting approval of right of entry request from Benchmark Utility Contractors, Inc., and authorization for Drainage District General Manager to execute as it relates to FM 907 temporary pole property. ID number 204-07595. They're just requesting temporary use of our right-of-way for 60 to 90 days max as they build a sewer line. They're going to basically hold the power poles in place, strap them down. It doesn't interfere with our operation, so no issue.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, request approval of claim number SWBT 08201-703 in the amount of $882.21 to AT&T Texas for damage to cables while district employees place cement pipes along Mount 491 and Mount 19.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, discussion, consideration, approval of proposal agreed to order docket number 2017-0541 WQE and authority for Dallas County Drainage District Number 1 General Manager or his designee to execute. This was an issue that was actually brought to us in 2017, but it's regarding our Texas Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, the TPDS general permit that we have. It expired actually in August of 12, and it was never renewed. So it's been expired for quite some time. Currently, we're working with Mr. Martin from Environmental to get our permit up in order. Probably two board meetings from now, we'll have that presented here to the board, and he's helping us out with all this information and filing the proper documentation, and we'll make sure we maintain it. But as I mentioned, it was prior to my administration, but we'll make sure we get it up and running and maintained. So need action on that.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item B, discussion approval of proposed supplemental environmental project application to resolve proposed agreed order by using the assessed penalty to address issues with scrap tire or illegal waste dump sites with authority for Lake County Drainage District Number 1 General Manager designee to execute. Basically, it was a $15,000 fine, and then $12,000 was what was applied. The $3,000 were waived. That's $12,000 are going to be applied to basically to help clean up areas. So hire a contractor to do that work. So that money's going strictly for that cleanup effort. So that's basically what we're agreeing to here on B.
Motion approved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5, requesting approval to accept letter termination of bond counsel from Ramirez and Guerrero LLP.
Move approved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, requesting exemption for competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code Section 262024A, professional services, with the law firm of the J. Ramirez Law Firm in connection with legal representation as it pertains to bond counsel.
Move approved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Item C, request approval to accept letter of engagement for bond counsel from the J. Ramirez Law Firm.
Move approved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, item 6, A, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262024A for a professional service in connection with legal representation services for Dow County Drainage District Number 1.
Move approved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item B, approval letter engagement authority to engage the firm of Allison Hall Rodriguez LLP in connection with legal representation service for Dow County Drainage District Number 1.
Move approved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, request approval of the following items after review and audit procedures are complete. Change order number 4 in the amount of $14,966 pertaining to construction contract number ACDD 1-16-006-0426-J09 drain improvements phase 2, in additional of 126 contract days.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, certificate of construction completion from Texas Court of Construction LLC pertaining to construction contract number ACDD 1-16-006-0426-J09 drain improvement phase 2.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item C, application for payment number 7, retainage release in the amount of $74,431.74. Texas Court of Construction LLC pertaining to construction contract number ACDD 1-16-006-0426-J09 drain improvements phase 2. Project Engineer Test Infrastructure Group, PO 629475.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8, requesting approval of final negotiated agreement for professional engineering services professional service with Millennium Engineers Group as it relates to professional construction material testing services precinct number 1 projects. Agreement number CHCDD 1-17-03-507-11, approved for negotiations by the Board of Directors on June 13th, 2017, subject to legal review and compliance with Form House HB 1295.
So this gives us two different.
That is correct.
It doesn't
Commissioner.
eliminate one.
No, sir. You'll have an opportunity to select, depending on type of work, workload, and so forth, sir. You can select either or. Currently, you still have Robert Kishner as your on-call, sir, and then this will allow you an additional on-call, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 9, application. Item 9 pertains to the application to the Texas Water Development Board for the purpose of seeking financial assistance through a grant in the amount of not to exceed $10 million to provide for the cost of the development of Rainbow Drain Project for flood control. And this is funding that we're going to be looking to get from the Water Development Board up to that amount, which will allow us to get into the construction phase for this project. These funds, whatever is received, will be allocated for construction purposes only. And item A would be acceptance and approval of attached resolution entitled application, filing, and authorized representative resolution. Need action for that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion
And
carries.
item B, acceptance and approval of filing of the application to the Texas Water Development Board and chairman of the board as official representative to execute the attached application affidavit.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
No closed session items today.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I was worried about that one. About the, executive session. That always throws a little monkey wrench in it.
Oh, there you go. I couldn't find it. God damn, it was killing me.
I don't know.
I like a little kid.
At this time, we're going to be convening our regular Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting posted for today, July the 11th, 2017. Present are Commissioner Precinct 1, Mr. Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 2, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 4, Commissioner Palacios, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, we ask you to be with us every single day. Help us, guide us, give us wisdom. Bless these people that are here for the good of the county. Pray that we always ask you for blessings for what we do. And we're very well aware that some places need rain, some places got rain, and we know that you're the one that gives us rain, dear Lord. So please help us have rain in our very parched earth on the places that we need. And we ask you to bless our families, bless our country, bless our county, bless our nation, bless the people who give their lives trying to defend us and keep us free. And we ask this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please remain standing.
Excuse me. We'd like a moment of silence. Ms. Doria Tita Vasquez, the sister of 398th District Court Judge Kino Vasquez, passed away on Friday at University Transplant Hospital in San Antonio while waiting for a liver and kidney transplant. Judge Vasquez was very close to Tita, as she was known, saying that she practically raised him from the time he was 10 years old due to his mother's lengthy illness. Tita was preceded in death by her father, Dr. Kino Vasquez, and in addition to Judge Vasquez, Tita survived by her mother, Geta Cancha Vasquez, sisters Ileana and Michelle, and all their families. She's being laid to rest today right after a funeral mass at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Our consent agenda, any concerns?
We have two concerns, so if the court can take action with the exception of consent agenda item 11C1 and consent agenda 11C2. And for the record, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from taking action on 11D, E, and F consent agenda.
Move for approval of the consent agenda, acknowledging the exclusion of the items just mentioned by our executive officer.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, on item 11C1 and C2, we'll be requesting no action. There's an issue as far as the original funding source from the TxDOT fund. However, once we get that cleared up, we'll be working with the auditor's office to get the original funding source on those accounts. We will be processing these two as emergency transfers. So right now, we're requesting no action on those two items.
All right, thank you, sir. Under 5A,
Morning, Judge Commissioners.
good morning, sir.
Michael Leo, County Judge's Office. 5A is approval of the interlocal agreement for services by and between Hidalgo County and the Alliance for Interstate 69 Texas. This is something that we've been a part of for a while now. And Sergio Contreras, the director for the RGV partnership and as part of the Alliance for Interstate 69, is here today just to kind of give us an idea of what I-69 Alliance is doing today.
Thank you, Michael. For the record, Sergio Contreras, President and CEO of the RGV Partnership. We're here to seek approval of the interlocal agreement between the Hidalgo County and Alliance for I-69, which supports roadways and Interstate 69 designation and funding for Interstate 2 to support our freight and also support congestion in our roadways. Thank you. There's currently a position on the board where Judge Ramon Garcia serves at, and that with this contribution also continues that board seat.
Ready for a motion?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve 5A1.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is in conjunction with that approval to pay membership fees due to the RGV Mobility Task Force in the amount of $7,500 with authority for the county treasurer to issue the check after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by the county auditor. For the record, the $7,500 actually, per the invoice per the agreement, it's 8620.00. Again, this is just the invoice that goes as part of the membership with the Alliance.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, we have a related item under 12B. So I'd like for the court to consider 12B, which is a presentation of letter of appreciation and plaque to County Judge Ramon Garcia from the Rio Grande Valley Partnership and its Board of Directors for its tireless commitment to Hidalgo County and regional project.
And here for the presentation is again Mr. Sergio Contreras and some board members.
Judge, County Commissioners, for the record, Sergio Contreras, President and CEO of RGV Partnership, and with me is our chairman.
Yeah, Brent Baldry, Texas Regional Bank.
One of our board of directors.
Joey Trevino, Robert Kissick Consultants.
Judge, we are here on behalf of the board of directors of the RGV Partnership to recognize you for your dedication to Hidalgo County and also for regional projects that have supported our region as a whole. I'll briefly read a letter that we have on behalf of our board of directors. Dear Judge Garcia, the Rio Grande Valley Partnership Board of Directors would like to congratulate and thank you for your dedicated public service and hard work for the people of Hidalgo County and the Rio Grande Valley. Your commitment and leadership has been instrumental in helping moving the region forward, and we appreciate your willingness to work hand in hand with the RGV Partnership on region-wide projects and issues. Your tireless work on various mobility issues, securing funding and designation on Interstate 69 Central and Interstate 2 were nothing short of a resounding success. Your collaboration with county commissioners, area mayors, legislators, and leaders from Starr, Cameron, and Willacy County on transportation, drainage, and human issues was impressive, and we would not be more grateful for your efforts. Thank you for your efforts to promote regional economic development projects, and thank you for your taking an active role to foster a diverse and educated workforce. Moreover, we are eternally appreciative of your support of the RGV Partnership. For example, without your unwavering advocacy of our RGV legislative tours, there would have not been a success. Thank you for your leadership. It has made it a pleasure to work with you and your staff. Judge Garcia, for those reasons and more, the RGB Partnership Board of Directors wholeheartedly thank you again for your service and leadership and wishes you nothing but the best in your new endeavors. We hope you stay involved. We welcome you at the RGB Partnership at any time. Sincerely, Brent Baldry, RGB Partnership Chairman, and Sergio Contreras.
Thank you very much.
What's up, bro?
Like to give to you, sir, and many more I know you have.
Dale.
Yeah. Yes.
No, you guys find it. Take one. And then we'll take one together.
Okay.
That's a lot.
One of the
Thank you very much.
20 and a half.
Okay. Thank you.
Round up. 21, sorry.
Hold on. No, you can hold it. Here, this part of it.
Congrats, Judge.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 6A, our DA's office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge.
Morning.
Item 6A, Hidalgo County DA's Office, Region 3 Border Prosecution Unit Grant, Fund 1281, approval to submit a BPU grant number 2537806, budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2.
May I move forward to item 7A?
Yes, ma'am.
7A, HIDA Task Force, Fund 1291, authorization and approval to accept the cooperative grant agreement award number G17SS0002A between Hidalgo County and the Executive Office of the President of the National Drug Control Policy and the supplemental amount of $292,796 for the grant period of January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2018.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the County Auditor for the HIDA Task Force grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 3, approval of appropriation of funds for the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office HIDA Task Force in the amount of $292,796.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 8, our Constable, Precinct 1.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Martin Blanco, Constable's Office, Precinct Number 1. We only have one item, 8A. It's going to be discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Ruben Peña as Reserve Deputy Constable by Constable Celestino Avila Jr., Constable Precinct 1, in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.012.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Judge, Commissioners, there was a public participation form by Ms. Fern. I think she wanted to make a comment on the reserve, but I don't see her in the audience.
All right, then let's move on then to item number 9, Precinct 2. Constable?
Judge, Commissioners, item 9A and 9B, I spoke to the constable this morning. He'd like to take no action on item 9A and 9B. Ms. Fern, you wanted to make a quick comment?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, on the constable, Precinct 1 constable. My question is, how many more of these reserve deputies, how many deputies are they getting? And how about using the reserve deputies out in the Delta area in that office? We have quite a few. Give them some experience, and there'll be a show there for the public if they need something. So please think about that. And I wish and hope that the constable will do the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10, Constable Precinct 4.
Morning, County Judge, Commissioner Sergeant Perez, Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4. On behalf of Constable Jerry Gaitan. 10A, approval to accept the National Incident-Based Reporting System Grant Award.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, approval and authorization for County Judge as authorized official to sign terms and conditions agreement and pay any other requirement documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 11, our Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. On behalf of Sheriff Guerra, 11A, approval to remove the county inventory list, county asset 67924, K9 Muña, a male Belgian Malinois, due to failure to comply with the grant conditions as per grant donor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
11B, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code subsection D 263-151 2A and or B, declaration of asset number 038751, issued firearm as further detailed in supporting documentation as surplus for the purpose of disposition as permitted by Government Code 614. B.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, pursuant to Government Code 614, permitting a peace officer retiring from a governmental entity to purchase their assigned firearm, requesting the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court approve the value of Senior Deputy Juan Cifuentes issued firearm at fixed asset value at $50.88.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Item 12, Mr. Garrett.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. And I apologize, I didn't announce this earlier when we got started, but just to notify the general public in the audience that we do have the Hart Intercivic voting machines outside our Commissioners Court chambers. They're on display throughout the Commissioners Court proceeding, and thereafter there are staff from the Elections Department that are on hand to assist anyone who wants to familiarize themselves with it. And the machines are also on display at the Elections Department from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Judge, getting back to item 12, item 12A, presentation, discussion, consideration, and action if necessary, including but not limited to the following: update on ongoing county-owned building construction, relocation, and or renovation, repair projects. Judge, Commissioners, we had been working with the county clerk's office on renovating an area at the courthouse so that we could facilitate a move for the collections department. The collections department for the county clerk's office is currently located just north of the courthouse, outside in the annex area. But the area was quite not conducive for the operation of collections. And so, again, we've been working with the clerk's office and facilities management, and the clerk's office has officially moved their collections office up to the third floor at the courthouse. And that move occurred, if I'm not mistaken, occurred yesterday. And so they're officially open on the third floor with respect to the County Clerk's Collections Office. We also have a report that at Precinct 3, we've been working with JP Constable area at Precinct 3. We will be doing some modifications to the area to better serve the constituency and make room for the volume of clients that we have out there. And so we will advise accordingly to the general public any disruption with respect to the area in general that we're talking about. And we're talking about the waiting area. So that's an ongoing project as well. I have no emergency situations occurring since last court agenda. So we've done 12B.
We'll come to C.
12C, yes. We have discussion, consideration, and action on memorandum of understanding between County of Hidalgo and Milagro Clinic. Judge Commissioners, this was an action item that was taken a couple of court sessions ago. It was subject to legal review. Legal review has fine-tuned the memorandum of understanding. We have our final version for court consideration on a $50,000 for program services for Milagro Clinic.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item D is for our civil service section. I'm asking approval to process payment of the following invoice in accordance with the County Procedures Manual Food Policy with authority for the county treasurer to issue a check after review and auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor. This is a Civil Service Commission meeting that was held on June 22nd of this year, and it's in the amount of $41.94.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item E is requesting permission by Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Edinburgh to use the courthouse parking lot for their annual festival to be held on October 7th of this year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F is discussion, consideration, and action authorizing application for a countywide Texas Department of Motor Vehicles account under TexPro's permitting system and submittal of application for an annual envelope permit, which is called an MCD-301, and authorize County Executive Officer Valdez to sign all related documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, we also have item G is discussion and action regarding to update Hidalgo County white collection brush sites and TCQ plan of action and request for a controlled burn. Since we have a lengthy agenda, in short, the County of Hidalgo has 2 collection brush sites authorized through TCEQ, one in Precinct 1 at the Monte Alto area and one in Precinct 4 at the Rogers and Davis Road in Edinburgh. We have 4 collection sites for household refuse. And we have what we call a staging in Precinct 3 for brush, which is then taken out to the Edinburgh landfill. We do the same thing at the Hidalgo Precinct 1 collection. That's currently what they've been doing. They've been taking the brush as it accumulates, taking it out to the Edinburgh landfill, as well as using a air curtain incinerator to burn the brush. We have the same scenario at Precinct 4, where we have, as we accumulate the brush, we take that brush out to the Edinburgh landfill, and we use our air curtain incinerator. Currently, the air curtain incinerator at Precinct 4 ran into some issues. We've gotten a quote for the repair, so that is currently non-operative at this time, but it should be repaired shortly. Precinct 1's air curtain incinerator is working, but we ran into an issue with the grappler that takes the brush and removes it. That is being addressed as we speak. We met yesterday with Precinct 1, Precinct 4 representatives. I spoke to Precinct 3 and Precinct 2 with respect to their collection sites and their operations. Currently, the collection of brush has been an extremely successful endeavor for the County of Hidalgo. We have seen a significant drop in the cleanup of our rights-of-way, our easements, more importantly in our canals and drain ditches. And so we want to acknowledge the constituency of Hidalgo County for working with us with this program. It truly has worked. With that being said, comes the reality of the amount or the accumulation of the brush and refuse that we collect daily. Currently, right now, Precinct 1 and Precinct 4 are at or near capacity, and so we're working diligently on clearing the current accumulation to make room for the new drop-offs. But we do have a situation at Precinct 4 where we are going to be requesting and asking the court's approval to submit a letter to TCEQ requesting for a controlled burn. The controlled burn would be in accordance with TCEQ rules and regulations. Mr. Ramirez, the request would be under Texas Administrative Code 211, if I'm not mistaken?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Martin Ramirez from the Environmental Compliance Department. It would be under 30 TAC.
I'm sorry, 30 TAC.
111.097.
Okay.
And these allow burns, if authorized by the Commission, for situations where there is a health and safety concerns because of the proximity of a subdivision to the north and the amount that we're talking about.
Right.
We're requesting authorization to do that controlled burn, along with support from the Edinburgh
Most definitely.
Fire Department.
Right. We have been in communication with the Edinburgh Fire Department, Sean's area, and they are most willing to assist us. We're also would be coordinating with the county's fire marshal office as well as our safety department out there. So this would be an effort on multiple levels with agencies to assist us, if granted by TCQ, to do a controlled burn. And again, the program in and of itself has been extremely successful in that people have acknowledged the importance of taking the household refuse to these sites and not discarding them elsewhere, as well as the brush. But with that comes the realization of the amount of brush and refuse that we are collecting. We have been working with all the precincts on the updating and replacement as needed for the trash containers. I know that, and I do want to acknowledge every precinct, Precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4, with respect to the programs. They're in constant communication with our office, and we are also in communication with TCEQ to make sure that we comply with the rules of the state of Texas. I also want to acknowledge Steve from Precinct 4. He was instrumental at a meeting that we had with TCEQ Friday last week so that we could discuss options available to the precinct with respect to the issue that we have, as well as addressing any other issues that TCEQ might have with respect to our program overall. It was an extremely positive meeting that we had with TCEQ, and again, our purpose today was to update the constituency and the county as a whole with respect to the success of the program, and ask the court for its endorsement in a request at TCEQ for a controlled burn.
I have a quick question. Is there a threshold on how long that burn can occur?
That would be part of the authorization. The commission would give you a set amount of time that the authorization was valid for. In the past, when we've requested these because of storm debris, what we've gotten is usually 30 days. I would assume that it would be about 30 days at this point, at least.
Motion approved. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to comment. In regards to the air curtains, we've really gotten the life out of them. Most of them are more than 10 years old. Our program has been evolving, and it has been a very successful program. As we look at other ways, I think we've had various meetings with TCEQ in regards to not just, the goal is never to burn or have controlled burns. We're looking at enhancing our operations. Obviously, the program's been successful, but as we continue to grow and people start buying into our programs, we need to make sure that our programs are evolving. So One of the others is the most effective, efficient way of either incinerating or as well as creating the mulch and transferring the mulch. So we're looking at other ways to enhance the programming. We appreciate the guidance we've gotten from the judge's office as well as Martin, and we continue to figure out what we need to do. But the goal is obviously not to do these controlled burns inevitably. But the good thing and the great news is when we need it most, where the brush is supposed to be is where it's supposed to be. We just got to do our due diligence to make sure we take care of it. It's out of our ditches, it's out of our neighborhoods, and that's a great thing. But I look forward to working with Valde as well as the commission to figure out, how we're going to enhance our operations to ensure that we can keep up with the demand.
Right, absolutely correct, Commissioner. And again, as they say, kudos go to the constituency. They really have come forth and said, you know what, this is the right thing to do. And so we have seen a significant drop in areas where we've had problems with respect to household refuse, trash, brush in our easements, rights of way, and in our ditches and canals.
Well, and another important thing to note is obviously you got to give commendation to our constituents. Nonetheless, they're paying a fee for this service, so we want to make sure we can keep up with the demand as well. So,
right. So, with the court's permission, if we could take some action,
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, we'll have a letter finalized by before the end of tomorrow for your signature to send up to TCEQ. Thank you.
Judge, I believe we were informed that at 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
You all wanted to
10:30.
take. Oh, 10:30. I was
Am I
informed
correct?
10.
Yes.
And it's what time now?
10:14.
Okay. I will wait.
Day early. Dollar rich.
Okay. I'm on top of things.
Mr. Salguero?
That's good.
I'm up at 10:15. Morning, Judge Commissioners. Raul Salguero, Executive Office, presenting HR items. Item 13A. The first thing we need is a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments for personnel items that are listed below.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13B, this is for the Office of the Public Defender. They're requesting the approval to create one full-time temporary position for 13 weeks, beginning on July 24th and ending on October 22nd as follows. Slot number T023, Clerk 1. The annual salary for the position is $25,207. The proposed budgeted salary for the 13 weeks amounts to $6,302.40, which is $12.12 an hour.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, for the District Attorney's Office, they're requesting approval to create one full-time temporary position for 24 weeks, beginning July 11th and ending on December 31st as follows. Slot number T137, Administrative Assistant 1. The annual salary is $26,547, and the budgeted salary will be $12,249 or $12.76 an hour for the 24 weeks.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, the Sheriff's Office slash Courthouse Security. Discussion, consideration, approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period, July 24th. The Sheriff is asking that we delete slot number 003, Deputy Sheriff 2 position at a salary of $45,691, and create slot 0017, Senior Deputy Sheriff Step 3 at a salary of $51,834. And then part of that would be to transfer, item 2, transfer Senior Deputy Sheriff Step 3 employee number 056448 from slot 28001 to slot number 0017 effective next full pay period. So this would be action on 1 and 2. And this is not general fund, this is a courthouse security fund.
Approval for items D, 1 and
2.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, this is for precinct 1. I do have some corrections. I'll state them as I move along. Action is requesting approval to create one part-time temporary position for 20 weeks
beginning July 24th and ending, and the correct date is December 10, 2017. That's the first correction. And the slot number will be T031, Administrative Assistant 1. It's a temporary position it's a part-time, so the proposed budgeted salary is $5,104 instead of the $10,000. That would be for a full-time, so it's actually half of that. So I would like to make that correction.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
And the funding for, I did fail to mention that the funding on the positions are all within the departments. And Linda, was there one that was? Oh, the DA, we were not sure, so it's subject to funding, right? Okay. That's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 14, Urban County.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. The first item we have on the agenda is 14A, and it is calling for a public hearing to consider public comments for revision to the Hidalgo County Urban County Program Citizen Participation Plan. The notice to the public was published on June 15, 2017. Public comments will be accepted until the close of business July 17, 2017. I do have some corrections on the citizen participation plan itself. It's actually on one page, which happens to be in regards to the amount of money that will have to be moved before we consider an item a substantial amendment. We do amendments when it's a small amount of money, but when we have to do a substantial amendment, we have to publish a notice 30 days prior to the public hearing so that the public will have sufficient time to review whether or not they agree with the proposed amendment.
And where are they posted? Where is this information posted?
All over the place. We send them to City Hall. We send them to the precincts. We post it at our office, on our website, at libraries, all over the place. So what we have here is on, I want to say it was page 9. On page 9, substantial amendments. The following will be considered substantial amendments, and it's a change in the use of CDBG money from one activity to another of $200,000 versus $300,000. The item 2 is the change in the use of home ESG money from one activity to another of $200,000 instead of $300,000. The reason we brought the number down is because each community receives about $250,000, and if we had kept the $300,000 figure, the public would not have had the opportunity to comment because it would not have been a substantial amendment. So now when we lowered it went from $100,000 to $300,000, and we're bringing it down to $200,000. Other things that changed on there had to do with our compliance with the affirmatively furthering fair housing document that we're currently writing. The regulation indicates that we should make sure that the document is, the notices are all published in Spanish, and we're also in compliance now with the county's own LEP plan. So those are the changes we're doing, and it's really just an opportunity for the public to have sufficient time to comment on the changes that we're making to our plans and to the action plans and into the preparation of the affirmatively fair housing document.
All right. Well, at this time, we're going to be convening a public hearing to consider public comments for revision to the Hidalgo County Urban County Program's Citizen Participation Plan. Is there anyone who desires to make any comments on this matter?
Good morning. I'm Marta Sanchez, and I work with La Unión del Voluntario, and I just wanted to support this lower the amount of money, because any time that you give the opportunity to the people to comment, you get a more transparent and accountable government. So I will support the idea or lower the amount from 300 to 200,000.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? At this time, we're going to be closing our public hearing and proceeding on to item B.
Thank you, Judge. Item B is requesting that we cancel the awarding of bid and contract with Manuela Mendoza and RG Enterprises, LLC, DBA, as G&G contractors for the demolition and reconstruction of her home. This was being at the request of the family. They requested that we not proceed with the home.
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C is consideration and approval of the cooperation agreements necessary for the requalification of Hidalgo County as an urban county program. We sent out letters to all of the communities that we participate in the urban county program for the following 3 years. It does not include the year of 2017 or 2018. This is for the next cycle, which is 18, 19, and 20. One of the communities chose not to participate in the urban county funding levels, and that community is in Precinct 1. We did receive a letter. When we requested that they let us know, anyone who failed to notify us would automatically be included in the urban county designation. However, we did have a community, as I indicated, that chose not to be a part of the next cycle.
Who was that?
That was the city of Donna. So we're requesting that you approve the the cooperation agreements, so that we may have them in place, so that we can meet our timelines for receiving the designation for 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item D is subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, when and if applicable. The Urban County Program, on behalf of the City of Gran Geno, is requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for construction material testing services with Robert Kistner Consultants in the amount of $3,108 for a 2016 line item Parks and Recreational Facility Improvements.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item D2 is approval of the work authorization number 1 for Robert Kistner Consultants in the amount of $3,108.60.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The following items are all part of the requirement that we have someone designated to sign the environmental review records that we prepare for each of our projects. So item E is requesting approval to redesignate the Urban County Program Director as certifying officer designee for the environmental procedures for entities assuming HUD environmental responsibilities, which includes funding for the CDBG program, home, ESD, the Colonia Fund, TDHCA, TDRA, and the General Land Office, and any other program that we administer.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F is resolution authorizing the renewal of a revolving line of credit with Lone Star National Bank of McAllen for the Urban County Program, with authority for the Urban County Program to draw from such line of credit.
I'm going to abstain, Joseph.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And I abstain.
And for the record, Commissioner Precinct 2, Mr. Cantu is abstaining from any voting on this matter. We need, Ms. Monica.
I know, right? I've got it, Commissioner. I've got the notation for under consent agenda for
You got to
Commissioner
sign that
Fuentes and
affidavit.
the Commissioner Cantu. I'll get as well the affidavit
Okay.
for abstention.
All right. Item G.
Item G is the Urban County Program request authorization to advertise for construction and related activities for all projects identified in the 2017-2018 one-year action plan, subsequent amendments and Colonia funded activities from the Texas General Land Office, Texas Department of Agriculture, Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. Now, we as I indicated to you a couple of weeks ago, we just received word about what the allocation is. We have not submitted the action plan yet, since we were given until August 16th to submit it. So this is just making sure that we've got this in place for when we do get the action plan submitted.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item H is requesting approval to reauthorize the Urban County Program Director to sign certain change orders on Urban County projects. Normally, that's anything that's under $50,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item I is requesting approval to reauthorize the Urban County Program Director to sign and execute contracts and agreements after Hidalgo County Commissioners Court's approval as they relate to all Hidalgo County Urban County Program projects and those included in the annual consolidated plan.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
J is subject to compliance with House Bill 1295 when and if applicable. The Urban County Program on behalf of the City of San Juan is requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for construction material testing services with Robert Kistner Consultants, Incorporated, in the amount of $18,940.90, utilizing CDBG funds from fiscal year 29, which just happens to be the 2016 Street Improvement Fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item J2 is approval of work authorization number 1 for Robert Kistner Consultants in the amount of $18,940.90.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item K is subject to compliance with House Bill 1295 when and if applicable. The Urban County Program on behalf of the City of Evangel is requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for construction material testing services with Robert Kistner in the amount of $11,753.78, utilizing CDBG funds, which is 2016, from the street improvement line item.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Our final item is the approval of the work authorization number 1 for Robert Kistner Consultants in the amount of $11,753.78.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Marty,
Here.
it's time.
All right.
We need to move on to 21.8.2, I think.
Correct. We're just going to give us a second to connect Mr. Hawkins on the phone, please.
It's presentation of the negotiated agreement for the provision of project or program management services in connection with the design and construction of a new Hidalgo County courthouse between the county and Jacobs Project Management Company, including any specific details, exceptions, modifications, additions, and/or deletions requested by Commissioners Court and subject to final legal review.
And Judge, if I might, what I wanted to, you are in possession of 2 documents.
Before you call, can you give us a background of what we're going to try to accomplish when we get them on the line?
Okay, yes, exactly. We have 2 versions of the document that has been, of the terms and conditions and negotiations that have been ongoing with Jacobs. Jacobs has a few things that they would like the court to request. So thus you have 2 different documents. You have an Hidalgo County, as Mr. Hawkins has drafted, and those inclusive terms, conditions, fees, all the specific timelines, etc., are included there. Same thing goes for your second document that is titled Jacobs, with some minor changes they would like the court to consider and accept. So my first question to Hawkins will be to give you all a summary of basically what are the differences that you're going to be entertaining.
Can y'all do that? I'm not against putting them on the line. I just kind of want to have some background first and then be able to have an informed.
I think it would help if we did that.
Okay, I'm going to defer to Michael because they have been in direct contact with him.
By the way, the 2 documents that were provided should be numbered 1 and 2, and this one is not numbered, John.
Well, we have them titled, though, Judge, Jacobs and Hidalgo County.
Oh, on the top.
Okay, instead of 1 and 2.
Correct.
Oh, Jacobs preferred and then Hidalgo County preferred? Or?
That's correct.
Well, yes, it's Hidalgo County really preferred. We'll see if Jacobs has some some compromises that you might be able to accept.
And for the record, we also have present Mr. Larry Strader, I believe, is here. Larry?
You want to come up here?
You, please. And Oscar Garcia. And they're here representing Jacobs.
Michael Leo, County Judge's Office. There's been a number of phone conferences that we've had. It has really, the terms and the fee was, of course, negotiated by the court here in a workshop with Jacobs. What's been discussed lately has been actually the actual terms, and there was a question about the actual term of the contract itself, which really is the biggest question, I think, before the court today. Originally, the county was of the opinion that the project would be complete. The services would be complete when the project was done. Turnkey, so to speak, here you go, it's over, it's done. Jacobs was of the opinion that they'd like to give it a time frame of 52 months, and anything after past 52 months, assuming it's not the fault of Jacobs, that would be considered additional services, and that there might be fees inclusive of that. Article 3, which is actually on page 7, is where you'll see the differences between the two, and it's at the very end of Article 3. There were some other topics of discussion, including retainage. The county originally had asked for a 10% retainage on payments. In further discussions with Jacobs, they were amenable to it. In the end, they asked for 1%, so I think theirs says 1%, and I think if the county's comfortable with that, you can accept that. There's also a question of a final payment. We would withhold the final payment until it's deemed complete, until we're satisfied with the product, with the services. Again, it's turned over. Again, it's kind of part of the retainage aspect of it. So going back to Article 3 is really the main, still it's kind of where we're at today. If the court is comfortable with the term, would rather see the 52 months, or if we're asking for it, just be until the project is complete. We had found similar contracts where there was no really term specified, and we were hoping that this would be in conjunction with those contracts. But again, that's what's up for debate today.
So in short, it's just really Article 3 that we're debating, and Jacob was here to concur with that?
Right.
Okay.
And the negotiated
retainage. Rather than go through all the other elements that we have no...
As opposed to 10, we've agreed on 1%.
Okay.
10 would have been problematic because then after that you need to invest, so it's really...
But we're in agreement on that.
We're in agreement on the
Basically,
retainage.
those were the two, and now we're down to Article 3.
Okay.
That's it. On that full and final, or that withholding the payment at the end, y'all are fine with that? Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you, if I may ask you, if once we sign the contract with a contractor, if that term is different, let's say that the construction contractor comes in here.
Commissioner, why don't we get John on the line now, so he can listen?
Sure, that's fine.
What I was going to ask, though, about Article 3 is it doesn't indicate that time frame.
You have two versions.
Right, but on the county's
The
side,
county's,
we
no.
We don't have any indication.
No, it
of
would
time.
be upon completion and turnover of the completion of the courthouse.
Okay, John, we're discussing the issue. We're on the record, and if you could just listen, and we may need to ask you some questions.
Certainly.
All right.
So I guess I have two questions with respect to that. Can you come up to the mic, please?
Good morning. This is Larry Strader with Jacobs.
Good morning. So my question is, once y'all hire the contractor, if the contractor is uncomfortable with the 52 months, in other words, he comes in and says, I need 60 months to complete the project, what does that do to the contract with you all?
So first,
addressed to me, Commissioner.
No,
right now it's
addressed
two.
to Larry. I'll let you know when you're up, John.
Okay, thank you.
if I could preface that with just a couple of quick opening statements, if you don't mind, Commissioner. I do want to thank, and Jacobs wants to thank, and I personally want to thank the judge, the commissioners, the county representatives, and county staff for the diligence and commitment to get us to this point. It's literally been 2 months exactly. May 10th was when we were notified of our award, and here we are 2 months later. Literally dozens of people from the county and Jacobs have worked days, nights, weekends, even over 2 holidays to get us to the point where we're 99.9% in agreement on the final terms and conditions. So I think that really speaks well of how we work together as organizations. And so we're very excited about coming to this point now and finally coming with some resolution together on this final item.
And we thank you for your patience.
It's been our pleasure. We want to be your project manager, and we want to partner with you to successfully deliver a new courthouse to Hidalgo County. The question you have is if, in fact, in the course of the project, we find that one of the contractors is looking to go ahead and extend the schedule. Well, what we've done, Commissioner...
And I'm talking about at the very beginning.
Right, exactly.
Not in the process, okay.
Exactly. So, what we've done in developing the 52-month schedule, just to give you a little bit of background on that, and that was a schedule that was developed and submitted on May 18th to the court and has not changed since then. Over the past 20 years, we have managed 60 courthouses, the construction of 60 courthouses throughout the country. And we actually are honored to be the firm that has managed the construction of more courthouses across the nation than any other company. We've utilized its experience, an experience of actually working on courthouses in hurricane zones and here in the Rio Grande Valley to develop that schedule. So our plan is to then help shape those architects and CMAR and the other contractors in meeting that schedule. So as your representative, our plan is not to go ahead and have them expand on the schedule, but rather work with them to move that to the left and actually add value to the project. So the idea then is if they come to us with, say, we need another 8, 9, 10 months, how we can do value engineering to bring that back in line with the schedule as it is right now.
I don't know if you answered my question.
Sir?
I don't know if you answered my question. What if in this process it's determined that the contractor is unable or unwilling to do it in 52 months because of the scope of the project? I just want to know, that one's easier to defend against as opposed to it happening in the middle of construction. At the beginning of the construction, you'll be maybe 10%, 15% through your contract. So you'll be at the early stages. I want to guard against that more than anything. What would you say to that? Are you saying that you're going to find a contractor that can do it within 52 months?
That is our plan. Yes, sir. And if there are unforeseen issues, and typically those unforeseen issues, unfortunately, are in the middle of construction, then we'll go ahead and work with the county to determine if, in fact, an extension to that schedule needs to be made, and if for any reason there needs to be compensation for that schedule. But that is a mutually agreed upon change to this agreement.
Before I go on, are you comfortable with that?
No, the reason we're here is because I am not comfortable with the language that is being proposed by Jacob. I'd like to begin by thanking Larry and Oscar and Terry and some other gentleman with Jacob. We've been
Kurt Fisher, our attorney.
we have been discussing this issue now on many, at least 5 occasions, and we've narrowed it down to that 0.01% to complete the 100 as you were talking about. But I want to make sure that the county pays what it has agreed to pay, which is $4.5 million for a completed project. I don't want to have to renegotiate if at the end of 50 months because we had a hurricane, because we had some other act of God or some delay in the project that causing us to go beyond 52 months. The way it's being proposed by Jacob is that we're going to have to sit down and renegotiate additional revenue that we have to be paying in addition to the 4.5. And I'm saying, no, we've agreed to 4.5. You give us a completed project, and I've taken the language straight from a contract that was proposed, that was entered into in Denver by Jacob and the county of Denver and the city of Denver. And the language there is real basic. When we're talking about the term, it says the initial term of this agreement shall commence upon written notice to proceed from the county to program manager and, well, no, this is theirs. This is I apologize. This is what Jacob is proposing. And in no more, I've got it, and in no more than 45 days following substantial completion of the project as defined by AIA A201 to 207, or 52 months from notice to proceed, whichever occurs sooner. Services provided by program manager in excess of the initial term shall be considered additional services and shall be billed accordingly. And I'm saying that that's not the way we need to proceed. We need to take the language that they entered into in Denver, which is the program manager shall continue providing its services through final completion and acceptance of the project by owner, and any commissioning or other services to be provided by or through the program manager included in Exhibit C, and through any additional services, except to the extent such services are terminated by owner. My proposal will keep us at $4.5 million, and they're going to give us a completed project. They're wanting to renegotiate in the event it goes beyond 52 months, which I don't think is right, but I told them we've arrived at an impasse, and it's time for the court to act and decide as a body what it is that we want to do.
And I kind of agree with the judge. Well, I really agree with the judge. I could see that if it was a contractor's problem or fault for the construction not completed in 52 months, and we find that during the process, I think that we could take some of the liquidated damages and pay you guys for additional services.
Exactly.
But that's only at that point. If the contractor does its job, then I don't see us
It was the contractor
having a
does
term.
his job, and it's by the fault of the project manager, then the project manager assumes that risk. That's already in the agreement. So,
Oh, right. I'm talking about the contractor on its own.
So if the contractor does anything outside the scope, then you're absolutely right.
Right.
You go after the contractor, then pay everybody else through their liquidated damages.
That's the only, in my opinion, that's the only time I could see where there could be further compensation if it's the contractor failing to do what his responsibility is. How is that the project manager's fault for, having to oversee that?
And we completely agree. If we were looking at, and the judge is right, the language was utilized 11 years ago for the city and county of Denver.
Let me make one more point real quick. I'm sorry. Back to the beginning, if the contractor comes in, and we can't find a contractor that can do it with 52 months, all the good contractors out there that can give us the best price, say 60 months, for example, then I expect you all to be able to do this work, this $4.5 million worth of work in 60 months, because that's what the contractor is providing at the beginning, not during the process, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so at that point, I'm 100% with what the judge is saying.
And we agree. The schedule that we propose is the best estimate based upon our decades of experience and dozens of projects and the information we have at hand. We know that the schematics will change. We know that the courthouse schematics that were provided to us at the RFQ phase are not what's going to be going forward. Okay, the AIA agreement is a living document and can be modified accordingly. There are options, as the judge mentioned, about renegotiation. We do not want to renegotiate either. We have talked about actually including a not-to-exceed monthly fee if there are additional services caused by any delays. So that way the county knows what the maximum would be, and it would not even have to go to that maximum level. So we definitely want to work with the county, continue this dialogue, and find a middle ground, just like we found a middle ground with all the other discussion points.
But you're not talking about weather delays being a potential extension of the term.
We have worked in hurricane zones, sir. We've worked the Brownsville courthouse. We've worked here in the Rio Grande Valley. We've included what we believe to be the appropriate weather delays already in the schedule.
They are talking about weather delays.
Yeah, that's what I was going to.
Yeah,
for clarification,
we are.
If the project stops for a month because of weather, if it just stops for a month, then you're saying that could elongate the term? In other words, say the contractor comes in at 52 months.
An act of God is a point of where we would go ahead and talk with the county about how we want to proceed with that. Yes, sir. It does not necessarily mean that it would be an increase in cost, but we'd have to work with the county to figure out how we want to reallocate the resources.
Because I would think that the work,
do that.
just like the work stops for the contractor, the work stops for you all. But,
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
How did you arrive at the 52 months? I mean, what makes that a special?
The 52 months was based upon the original RFQ information and what was provided from the architects on the design, and then based upon our decades of experience in dozens of courthouses. We've delivered courthouses on the federal level, the state level, the county level, the city level, and so we've utilized all that experience and lessons learned, and we actually have formal lessons learned documents that we apply to this, and we came up with the best estimate right now, 52 months.
Okay, so I have a couple more questions. So in those 52 months, you include the design, you include all of the negotiation with the architect?
Correct.
The RFP for the
Correct.
CMR, the CMAR,
Correct.
all of that is included in here?
That was all provided in our proposal response on May 18th and has not changed.
So the 52 months includes all of that, plus
Yes, sir.
the construction?
And also includes the demo of this courthouse as well.
And the commissioning? warranty period?
Yes, it does.
All of that. So
Yes,
all of
it
it
does.
is included in your 52-month estimate,
Correct.
Now,
The whole idea behind the schedule was to deliver you a successful courthouse.
okay, so if you feel confident that you can do this in 52 months, inclusive of all weather delays, all the design and everything else,
Yes.
so what is the real concern with leaving it open-ended if you feel like you can do it in 52 months?
The real concern is that what we found out with a firm fixed price contract on a professional services firm like ourselves. We've worked with our clients. We found out that the easiest way to come up with a termination point for a firm fixed price contract is to utilize the schedule. And so we utilize this for a number of our clients now on firm fixed price contracts. If this was a design build contract where we had responsibility for every single phase of the effort, where we were the designer and we were your constructor, we were all of that, then we would be very comfortable with an open-ended schedule. But because there are a lot of things that are out of our control, like parking. Parking is completely out of our control, and we cannot get a certificate of occupancy without the parking, then we need to have a crisp termination point, something that's cleanly defined for both us and the county.
So is there something other than parking that's causing some hesitation?
There's really no other issues except for the fact that we're the project manager, we're your owner's rep, so we have no responsibility over the architect, over the CMAR, over the other contractors. We work with you on your side of the table, so there is concern about risk associated with those other firms, which is why, again, another reason to have a very crisply, clean, defined termination point for a firm fixed price contract.
If I may comment, who would have thought we wouldn't have at least one issue? This is one. in such a big project like this. I could understand. Obviously, we share two different hats. As a county, we're looking at variables that are still moving. We still have pending issues with the city of Edinburgh. We still have pending issues with the downtown drainage area. These are realities that are going to move this project one way or another.
Correct.
Right now, we're in the world of theory, and I trust your judgment in regards to the 52 weeks. I do. I don't dispute it. It's probably unequivocal in your experience. The fact is every project is different. And in ours, I understand the complexity because you're having a great dependence on other firms and so forth. I like the motivation, though, in respect of an open-ended, non-52 weeks, because it really is going to put you in a position to assure that you represent us well, to assure that we respect the timetables that we're looking for. Of course, I'm speaking as a commissioner. If I was sitting in your shoes, I would want the 52 weeks because, I'm hoping, and I respect the position of the judge as well as the other commissioners, that there's a great level of concern. In this case, I see it every day because it is the downtown Edinburgh area, and there's the variables in there that we can't really put a finger on just yet in regards to the issue. TxDOT, the road closure, the drainage, how does it affect us?
And that's why it's important to bring on the program manager or project manager as soon as possible.
And I can assure you those are probably the compelling reasons why the concern is to stick to a 52-week, and I respect that from the position of Jacobs. However, that is probably the most defining issue that the county as a court would be very concerned about because the work will never change. I know that those are moving variables that in time will be aligned, hopefully sooner than later, so that's not at your expense, much less the county's or the taxpayer. But it's one of the issues that probably I think are going to force the court to really look at this one related issue in regards to timetables. And I respect the majority of the court is probably more in line and respecting not putting a deadline. Now, is that what kills this contract?
Well, actually, that's why we modified the language. So if you look at that version, that's the Jacobs version, that we also include substantial completion. Because there are things out of our control, like the parking, which, without that, you cannot get the certificate of occupancy. We cannot really, truly, successfully complete the project without that. We can get you to substantial completion within our purview. And that's why that substantial completion actually is part of our RFQ response. And we also include that as the language, because then that allows you that float in there, commissioners, that we talked about. So the 52 months is a possible date, and also substantial completion, which then also allows us to have a bit of that flexibility in there. And if we bring that to the left, then that actually helps you all, because you get to occupy the building even sooner. And as you see in our RFQ response, just because we have substantial completion in there, you'll notice that as part of our closeout phase, we actually are working with the CMAR on the punch list and all of those items that Mr. Hawkins had brought up yesterday. We're not going to be out the door the moment it happens. We're with you as far as we possibly can to get this project completed.
I just don't see it, because I think that it gives you incentive not to complete the project in a timely basis, and then having a little bit of billable experience, you stop and go as the client needs you. And so I don't see it other than what I mentioned earlier. If the contractor fails to complete as per his contract, and then we needed you to stay on because of something the contractor did, then I could see coming back to the table, and we could take it from the liquidated damages and address that, something that the contractor did. But to pay y'all more because we didn't close Klausner in time, because we didn't get a parking lot in time, I think that all that should be addressed at the outset. And you should put that in things that we need to accomplish to build this courthouse. But that's me. I don't see moving off of the.
I also feel very uncomfortable in coming up and focusing on a specific time period when we haven't even obtained final construction documents. I would like to be able to hear from the architect, be able to hear from the contractor. If they were here saying, we've looked at the plans and we can get this project completed on such and such a time, well within 52 months, I would certainly the comfort level would be there.
What are the time? Let's say we have 3 contractors, right? Big contractors, and 2 of them say, I can't do it in 52 months. And so it leaves us with 1, and then we have a more expensive courthouse. So I think that could be detrimental too, and cause higher expense.
There are alternates. We together decided to move forward with a lump sum contract. We could actually propose a time and materials contract based upon a percentage of total construction value that has the open-ended quality to this. So, and that would just require 1 change to Article 3 and a change to Section 10. Very minor changes, and we can change this to a time and materials contract.
We've already spent a lot of time arriving at a figure. We've got a figure. We've agreed on the figure. That's no longer an issue. The issue now here is, can we get this thing completed by using language that you have already agreed in other projects to use and did use and completed a project in Colorado based on this language. We need to hear from our auditor. Mr. Efracio, did you want to say something?
He's concerned over the lump sum. I haven't seen the contract, but one of the issues that we have in construction management is that we sometimes pay the construction manager, and it doesn't tie with the percentage of completion of the project. We had an issue where the construction manager almost got paid for the entire contract on his side, yet construction has not even started yet. So we need to make sure the payments to the construction manager are tied to the progress of the project, to make sure we don't finish paying the manager for their work without finishing the project.
I don't think we're talking about that right now.
I'm sorry?
I don't think that's what we're talking about right now.
Okay, because I haven't seen the contract, but I think the contract needs to have language that the payments are going to be tied to the percentage of completion of the project.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. So you're not going to be budging, am I correct? I mean, I just need to know so we can declare an impasse and then we vote on where we are.
Well, I don't believe we are at an impasse. I believe we're at a point, because you and I have been talking. What we've not been benefiting from is a continued dialogue with the other commissioners until this point.
Well, that's what we're doing here this morning.
Exactly, and we laid out one option. There's another option on the table. There could be a third or fourth option. What we're proposing is another negotiation workshop where we actually can talk through these items and come up with a solution. We don't believe there's an impasse like there was not an impasse over the past 2 months. We believe that together we can find a solution for this and actually work together and partner for the program.
Would you, in those conversations, would you propose something different? Like, would it be a monetary thing, or?
It could very well be. I would like to bring some other people to the table, sir, so we can actually have a dialogue that brings multiple options to the table. But we need to find a crisp and well-defined termination point for this. That will be something that we want to do.
The end of the project. That's crisp.
Defined as A, B, C, D, E, and F. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but, there's some floating variables, and being in somewhat of the field in the construction world, they're at the mercy of, and it's not out of defense, it's just to know the other variable. You got architects that are going to work on a design. Who knows how long that takes? They're going to have to really indulge themselves in the design to make sure that we get the affordable also. So that could, when you put it's a vague time period. We're very dependent on that. You get the construction manager at risk. He's going to look at it. He's going to say, I can't do it. It's not affordable for me. There's not much of a net. So, you got all these floating variables.
And we work with that every single day across the country,
and I'm
sir.
certain that that's why this is an issue. And having said that, I do encourage us to look at other means. And we're going to respect each other's position in the sense that we have to look out for the taxpayer as well. But I understand you guys have to look at these certain variables that are just they're moving. They'll move all over the place depending on who we select and what the end design's going to be.
And that's why we're
in
lockstep with you on the selection process and everything, sir.
So
I just think that the hours can be controlled.
Yes.
And so even, if there's a rain delay, the hours stop. The effort stops. I hope they have other work. They could shift some of their workers to the other work for that, say that month or whatever, and then they come back.
That's an important fact here. So obviously the 52 months, it's meter starts and it just goes 52 months. Could it be better defined in regards to what is the 52 months and what are some of the timetables that we will recognize, obviously outside of your direct involvement? I know you're involved in everything, pretty much every single variable, but the degree of the level of service is different throughout the entire phases. They're heavy on the front, and so it varies. Is there a way to determine the 52 weeks based on the level of service at the different periods of construction? So if, in fact, on the front end, because of construction manager at risk as well as the architect, those certain variables, it doesn't put the county at an adverse effect in respect to the 52 weeks. Can you develop something like that?
Well, actually, if you look at the proposal, which was first presented on May 18th, and I'm not really sure even when the last version was presented, but Exhibit A has the schedule, and Exhibit B actually has our staffing profile.
Yes.
And you see what we have, the resources and the allocation of hours of those resources throughout the schedule. So you can see where they're going to be applied in pre-design, design, construction, all of that, and how we could reallocate those resources. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And where I'm leading to is as what Commissioner Cantu is alluding to, and hypothetically speaking, let's say we get into a phase where whether it's on the architect or the construction manager at risk, and really the level of service that you're looking at is much less because of some sort of delay, let's just say. Could there be something that we can trigger on a contract that stops the meter for a moment, so that we're not, we can control the variable of time. in regards to what we're referencing 52 months as opposed just a meter that's continuing to run. I think that's what, there's the alarm for us.
That's above my pay grade right now,
Yeah.
so I'd have to go back and
Of
find
course,
out.
I'm just thinking this
Yeah.
in my head. I don't know how it's going to, come down to the contract, but, I mean, obviously, in light of looking at alternatives, I mean,
Well, I think that part of what all of us are saying is kind of in line with what the auditor said, which is make this based more off of number of hours that are allocated to the job and base it off of a percentage of completion of those hours. So if they don't apply those hours because of delays in
Which is more like a time and materials contract.
Right, so, and if that's the case, maybe you have an agreed upon price and you just got to allocate it based on the number of hours.
And that's a possibility.
Because you came to us with a budget already with a staffing plan. And I would think that it would be, that your billing would be based off of that staffing plan as opposed to a month-to-month billing.
Well, with a lump sum payment, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to be invoiced to that, but it would not, my understanding would not be on an hour-by-hour basis. It would be somehow allocated based upon the total lump sum amount. But definitely on time and materials, if there's nothing to bill, then there's no invoice for that.
And I think that goes back to what you guys presented to us on your staffing plan, already had it broken down by phases.
Correct.
So we were in a design phase, we were in construction phase, we were in, the commissioning phase. So all of those things, I think, can be presented in such a way that it would make more sense to us that those dollars that we have budgeted for your services would be based more off of a deliverable by your staffing hours as opposed to a month-to-month.
That is a possibility, sir.
Hold on. So I think I agree, and I'm a little confused, but I understand what
I'm a lot confused.
what the auditor was saying. In construction is normal, right? You have a building, and 10% at the foundation stage, and so forth. There's percentages that everybody are familiar with. In the project management, I would expect something similar, in that the way you've laid out your hours. For instance, you've laid out probably $500,000 worth of hours, working with the architect, preliminary stuff. And so you're being paid as that's happening. Then we get into construction, and you're kind of getting paid as you're seeing something. You're not going to get 90% of your fee for the construction part at the beginning. It's going to be over the term of the construction.
Yeah, there are payment terms, sir, but I have to admit I am not familiar with what we have on us for the payment terms.
So I guess we need to see that, and that needs to be part of the contract. But my concern, if you go into an hourly, well, then they have, all the power on that, and they control how many hours they say they've worked and they put into this effort, just like a lawyer would. And you really don't have it limited. You don't have a limit.
But I think we can base it, I don't know, I guess there's some assumptions here that we're going to be both working within that phase of construction, whether it's the design and there's only 200 hours, and we know we're only 1 month into a 4-month design, the billing has to be more.
But you're saying limited to the 4.5. You're not opening it up to the hourly work.
Exactly. Their 4.5 is based off of the projected hours that they've allocated to each of the phases of work that they're presenting to us.
And I'm in agreement with that. I guess
we're saying the same thing, but I'm saying work within the budget that they agreed that we agreed to, and then allocating those the monies based on the hours that they projected in their staffing plan.
I'm in agreement with that. I thought you were opening it up from a flat fee to a variable fee.
I'm saying work within the budget that we
It would be
to.
basically equivalent to a not to exceed fee.
Right.
Right. Well, I guess I'm just saying that you gave us a budget that we agreed to, and you have hours associated with that, and then just break it down.
And we burn those hours based upon the not to exceed amount.
Right. Okay.
We could talk about that, yes.
Because I think that leaves your time frame open-ended, Judge, and it never gets us to a finish line until we're actually there.
No, I agree with both of you. I still think we're at an impasse, even I don't believe you do, but I know on one thing, I'm not going to change my mind. We either do it...
and I was going to continue to designate the judge to handle this negotiation for us.
Right. The reason I'm not is because I don't think it's fair. I think the fair thing to do is to agree on a price, which we have, and you agreed to work on a project, which we accept, your qualifications, your experience, and that you just turn over a completed project to us, and you get that.
And that's exactly what we're agreeing to.
Do you mind seeing what their proposal is based off of hours and the budget that they have right now?
No, I don't mind. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Because I think if they can make that work and the time frame is more open-ended, I think that satisfies your concern with getting a delivered product.
But this 52-month figure came out, I think it's an arbitrary figure. Could be 60, could be 75, could be 40. But they came up with this figure.
And we can discuss in more detail our basis of estimate of scheduling and how we do that, sir.
Right, but with us not having the knowledge of, with your experience, we have to rely on whatever architect we wind up with and whatever contractor we wind up with.
Welcome to being an owner.
Get them to tell us what they think, since the contractor is going to be the one, with a hammer and nails building the project. He ought to be in a better position to tell us. And if we were to hear from him and then compare to what you're saying, comfort level would be there.
I mean, I think it's safe to assume you've worked with both architects.
Yes, we have.
And the type of contractor that's going to build this, I'm sure you've worked with them. And so I really don't see.
And that's why we have the comfort level with the schedule as it is. And we worked here in the Rio Grande Valley.
And so if something were to happen, once again, I think that you can control the hours that you put into this, and that's why I don't see going.
And that's exactly why we want to use the 52-month schedule. We believe we can control the hours. That's why we proposed the way we proposed it.
But I just don't see weather delay increasing the number of hours. I don't.
And it may not. We might be able to accelerate.
But you got to understand that if we leave it the way you want it, and then we come in, 52 months from now, you have all the leverage. We're not going to bring you in a different PM at that late of the game. Who's going to come in and take that responsibility? We will be.
And we would be working with you on a weekly, daily basis to make sure that we're all aware of what the schedule looks like. There would be no
But you can make us aware. You can say, hey, the contractor's not going to finish 52 months. What are we going to do at that point? Just acknowledge it and know that we're going to come in 52 months from now and have to renegotiate an extension of the contract with absolutely no leverage.
Well, and that's exactly why we wanted to do something now, to include what it would look like to have like a not to exceed monthly fee or even a weekly fee, so that if there were delays outside of the scope, that we
I would
have
say
to renegotiate anything.
submit that to the judge's office and have if you don't mind, Judge, continue to review that. And if they convince you, otherwise, we'll come back in 2 weeks. I think that, like you said, we are at an impasse if we just tell them that we're going to approve our Hidalgo County contract. They may not take it. So why don't we just give them 2 weeks to either convince you or...
That'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it's important. Obviously 52 weeks. The dynamics of the project are going to be completely different than today. So at that point, what would that look like in respect to this timetable and all of these other variables in regards to what you presume as if, in fact, this does happen? What are we looking at? And
maybe you could give us a figure of what you would charge to take us all the way up to the selection of the contractor. And then at that point, we'll sit down and talk about the length of time. But we'll have other people involved in that process. And we'll figure out how much we'll pay you from here till then. And then at that point, we'll finalize the agreement when everybody's in place.
Well, we can discuss the different options, yes, sir.
All right.
And I would have you let the judge know how many times you've done a fixed term contract and an open contract. And it's going to be up to you guys to be honest and provide that to the judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
John, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome, sir.
Just to clarify here, we had scheduled architects for the next meeting. the 25th. So I think we keep telling them rescheduled.
Can we keep it, Judge? Because them presenting is not going to affect the PM.
They're going to be here, so they can hear. Yeah, now let's keep it in place.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
We're working on 52 months.
Yeah. You're right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So there is no action to be taken, correct?
No action.
No action.
Thank you.
Moving back to item number 15, our Health Department.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 15A, sir. Requesting approval of memorandum of understanding between Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service and Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department. The purpose is for training and support of continuing education units for public health preparedness and response period 9/1/2017 to 8/31/2019, sir.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, sir, B1, discussion and action including but not limited to health care funding district and or expenditures. There is no items there unless there's any questions. Item C, Indigent Health Care Program. C1, discussion and approval to increase the county indigent health care program minimum income standards from 21% of federal poverty level guideline to 30% federal poverty level guideline effective 9/1/2017, sir.
Motion to approve.
Second. Is there a second?
Yes.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Item 2, sir, discussion action including but not limited to indigent health care program or 1115 waiver expenditures. There is nothing there unless you have any questions, sir. Thank you and have a good day.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Item 16, Fire Marshal.
Judge, if I may, I was contacted this morning by the Fire Marshal's office. They were shorthanded and asked if I could present this for them. This is authorization and approval to purchase new wireless service through county's membership and participation with contract number under the Department of Information Resources, which is DIR TSO 3415 with Verizon Wireless. And this is at $37.99 per month. This is being done. They gave me a small some supporting documentation which says that they need the activation of this MI5 for office use. We give out burn permits, and so we use 911 software to locate clients' addresses. Sometimes we have to show the client the screen so as to point out their exact location of their home, and we can't do that over just the computer monitor.
Motion approved.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 17A.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Jaime Longoria with Community Service Agency. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to submit a renewal application to the Texas Health and Human Services Commission for the Senior Corps projects. It didn't say retired senior volunteer projects, with authorization for Jaime Longoria to electronically submit the application in e-grants. Application ID 17 SR 196802.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 19, Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 19A, it's regarding our Precinct 2 Sergeant Trevino Road project. Item 1, approval of certification of revenue as certified by the county auditor for revenue received from the city of San Juan for interlocal agreement approved by Commissioners Court on February 6, 2017.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 19.2, approval of 2017 appropriation of funds into Precinct 2 Sergeant Trevino Road project in the amount of $222,426.13.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioner.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 20A is requesting approval of First Amendment to the interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and the City of Mission Spear Memorial Library relating to the Hidalgo County Library System, the e-library.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 20B1A is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor. It's going to be A and B and appropriation of those funds in the amount of $385,562.84. And this is to fund various Precinct 1, Precinct 3 accounts.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Just a note on the item, it does not include the interfund transfer. We'll be bringing that back at a later date. Item 20B2.1, approval of appropriation and interfund transfer from Capital Project CO Series 2001 to debt service, road and bridge, debt service refunding bond series 2014B, Fund 1444 in the amount of $15,001.96. And this is subject to bond council review and approval.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B22 is approval of appropriation and interfund transfer from Capital Project CO Series 2009 to debt service refunding bond series 2015B in the amount of $493.10. And this is also subject to bond council review and approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 2.3 is approval of appropriation, interdepartmental, and interfund transfer from Capital Projects Tax Note Series 2007 to debt service refunding bond series 2009 in the total amount of $1,047.98. This is also subject to bond council review and approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is approval of 2017 appropriation of funds for COs 2010 A and B, Precinct 1, in the amount of $10,801.08.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 4 is approval of 2017 appropriation of funds into tax notes 2014 Sheriff's Office in the amount of $15,647.03.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, sir.
Item 21A, Martha Salazar, Purchasing Department. This is a presentation of the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best sealed quote, Milano Hat Company, including the approval of the contract for the request for sealed quotes, purchase of straw hats and felt hats through project number 029, but in no event to exceed $50,000. Our historic expenditures don't come anywhere near the 50, so we did it on sealed quotes
Why are we buying hats?
for the law enforcement department.
Oh, okay.
We do this every year, don't we?
So I can go to the Livestock Show.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
No. No action on 2, as I was already presented on 3. Presentation of the response received from CTC Distributing LLC, the sole responsible vendor submitting the best bid and meeting all specifications and requirements for the purpose of award and approval of contract document for the project titled Off-Premises Storage, etc. That's number 059, and subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, if and when applicable. 7 packets were distributed, 1 response was received. There is no real increase in fact, some departments got a little decrease because they have less storage.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4, this is requesting authority to advertise and approval of the RFP procurement packet as developed through the Hidalgo County Health Program Consultant, Mr. Looney, Alamo Insurance, and Health Benefits Department with Ms. Flora Vasquez as attached here too, and this is for the Wellness Program Services. It'll be project number 199 with review of any modifications necessary to packet to be finalized by the Purchasing Department and authority to re-advertise it if it is necessary. We get no takers.
Judge, Commissioners, for the record, out of an abundance of caution, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from this item.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second, but I had a question. So this is for us to provide wellness to our employees at some
Correct.
point. Now, the people that may provide this type of service, like let's say it's a trainer or whatever, was anybody talked to kind of see what they would, I guess to make sure that the way that this thing is written, we can get some good submittals?
I believe there's been some parameters set. I saw the requirements. Their companies are being requested that have very specific services that we want offered, and I think within that realm, it's not just a trainer who does it out of their garage. This was a very good set of requirements that I saw on the specifications, and I think Mr. Looney's here. He has
Right behind him.
there he is. He has kind of combined the best of what he's seen through other jurisdictions to get this done. Am I paraphrasing that correctly?
No, I just wanted to make sure that
Quality of the
if we're going to bring in people that can help us or help our staff with wellness, that it was something that once we put it out, that they'll be able to, I guess, it's something that they can comply with. In other words, I don't want to put something out and nobody submits a proposal because it's kind of over their head or doesn't cover what they do.
We reviewed a number of wellness opportunities, and the first RFPs that we did was exactly what you said. It was too intense. So we narrowed it down to what we feel that we can best generate for the entire population of the county.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see with how many submittals we get.
See if they're doable for providers out there.
We've had a number of interested parties already.
Okay.
Waiting for the RFP to come out.
Okay, great.
Was that about
I think we have you made a motion, Joseph?
Yes.
Second?
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Precinct 1B1, this is under FEMA, ratification of change order number 1 in connection with contract number 400, road improvements to mile 1.5 west as recommended by project engineer, International Consulting Engineers, with a cost decrease of $331.92.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, a certificate of substantial completion is submitted by 2GS LLC for the provision of FEMA road improvements to mile 1.5 west under contract number 400.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3 is requesting acceptance and approval of application for payment number 2, final in the amount of $120,349.12 as submitted by 2GS LLC for the provision of FEMA road improvements to mile 1.5 west under the contract number 400.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Under item 2, precinct 1, requesting approval of the following TEDSI Infrastructure Group invoices for engineering services rendered for mile 6 west. That's invoice number 201726 and invoice B at 201727, as stated on the agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 1, acceptance and approval of the contract between Hidalgo County Precinct 4 and RGV Asphalt LLC for road improvements of Sunflower Road. This is project number 128, subject to all statutory compliance and final legal review. Atlas Holmes Rodriguez, which I think it's already done.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval of the professional services agreement number 168 with MTME LLC, Modern Technologies, Modern Environment, for the purpose of professional engineering services for the GWSAP groundwater gas monitoring and groundwater data evaluation at closed landfill site located within precinct 4 in order to continue maintaining compliance with TCEQ.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval of professional services agreement with Robert Kistner, number 195, geotechnical and construction materials testing for projects located within precinct 4.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3 is acceptance and approval, work authorization 4 with an estimated cost of $16,777.52 as submitted by project engineer B2Z for the purpose of feasibility study phase, the feasibility study phase of the existing architectural plans for a mechanical shop located within precinct 4 under the on-call agreement, and that's number 329.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Under D1, this is pursuant to the procurement packet requesting action to appoint and select the evaluation committee members for the RFP online pharmacy billing services for Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department. Besides purchasing, coordinating, and overseeing, I believe, would you all be open to having Mr. Olivares nominate at least 3 of his staff? Since they understand the project.
Sure. That's fine with me.
Is that,
That's fine.
all right.
Do you need a?
Yes, a vote to allow Mr. Olivares to appoint staff.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And that would be 3 more?
3 if at the minimum. It could be 4.
Right, but just,
Yes, for now, a minimum of 3.
and your office to oversee and coordinate.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Item E for budget and management. We're talking about approval to enter into a 36-month maintenance agreement on an as-needed basis to quarterly meter readings on 1 copier, the RICO USA, through state award number DIRTSO 3041.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And for the Sheriff's Office, this is approval of the First Amendment to Service Contract Number 097 between Hidalgo County and Securus Technologies for the provision of an inmate pay telephone system and services as permitted under the terms of the contract in compliance and with compliance to 1295, if and when applicable.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item G for the District Attorney's Office, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code 262.024A7, a proprietary software.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
B is requesting approval of agreements, if applicable. In most cases, they don't. Online services with LexisNexis, including but not limited to the ones listed as number 2 and number 1 and number 2, 1188 FO and 123 DSK, respectively.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you.
Under open forum, did anyone sign up?
We do have one participant, Ms. Fern McClarty. I will, for the record, remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is 3 minutes. I will advise when there is 1 minute.
Okay, well, our question today is the same one I said earlier about the Precinct 5. Not to bring that back, don't even think about it, but do try to get the constable out of Precinct 1 or the sheriff's office to do something. I'd like to also tell the people of the public, it is up to us to take care of ourselves and our home. Recently, I had a young person, I have a camera so I've got his picture, that stole some stuff off of my front porch at 12:30 in the evening. I don't know if they realize that I'm a gun instructor, so come on back. But the thing is, the public has to know that they have to take care of it. We can't call. The police came, they're going to write up a report, but then what? So it's up to us to take care of ourselves, take care of our neighbors, our families and relatives, and try to keep watching. But it is up to the elected officials to please do their job. And Precinct 1 did promise us, the constable way back when, that he would have someone out there. So please help the people. They'll feel better, but it's really up to the people to take care of themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge Commissioners, we have executive session.
Pursuant to 551, 071, and 072 of the Texas Government Code, need a motion to proceed to executive session. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, we are back in open session. Mr. Guerra?
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 25A, under open session, real estate acquisition appropriation for same. There's no action to be taken. Item 25B, pending and or potential litigation, there is no action to be taken. Item 25C, C-2728-17-J, Dora Alicia Garza individually. Dora Alicia Garza et al. Versus Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, Judge, Commissioners. This is a claim that was being facilitated on behalf of Hidalgo County by Palacios, Garza, and Thompson. This claim is turned into a suit, and so for the record, it'll still stay with Palacios, Garza, and Thompson, but for purposes of claim status to suit status, I'd like to refer back to item 24A. I'm requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262-024A4, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 24B, requesting engagement with the firm of Palacios, Garza, and Thompson for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, and this is specific to C-2728-17-J, Dora Alicia Garza individually, Dora Alicia Garza et al. Versus Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
25D are all related. It's the claim of Ruben Hernandez, claim of Elena Leal, and claim of Agnet Anton. I am asking the court, under claim status, to assign this to Preston Henderson. With that being said, I'd like to refer back to item 24A, requesting exemption with competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262-024A4, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
24B, requesting engagement with the firm of Preston Henderson for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement subject to compliance with House Bill 1285, specific to item 25D, claim of Ruben Hernandez, claim of Elena Leal, and claim of Agnet Anton.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 25E is to clarify the record. Judge, Commissioners, last court session we had a lawsuit and some claims that were settled by our insurance company. Unfortunately, the way it was listed on the agenda was a little was misleading in the sense that these three claimants were made to look like a part of the lawsuit that they were not a part of. They were part of the overall claim incident, and so to correct and clarify the record, this is an issue that our insurance carrier settled at mediation, in that our SIR under this claim incident involving the Sheriff's Office, a vehicle accident, eroded, and so 25E, claim of Benjamin Morales, again, insurance carrier, coverage $50,000, claim of Fernando Reina $32,500, and claim of Bobby Cáceres $7,500. And again, out of an abundance of caution, I'd like for the court to take action.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 25F, Raul Muniz Jr., Daniel Muniz versus Hidalgo County. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like to refer back to item 24A. I'm requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262-024A4, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 24B, requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas, Hall, and Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, specific to item 25F, Raul Muniz Jr., Daniel Muniz versus Hidalgo County.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the last one, item 25G, C2427-17-F, Sandra Garza versus Hidalgo County et al. Judge, Commissioners, to clarify, this is also a part of an overall claim issue involving the Health Department. Last court session, we had a related item that was addressed and assigned to counsel. And so with that being said, I'd like to refer back to item 24A, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262-024A4, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 24B, requesting engagement with the firm of Preston Henriksen for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit letter of engagement subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, specific to item 25G, C2427-17-F, Sandra Garza versus Hidalgo County et al.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
There is no need for closed or open session. And before adjournment, Judge Commissioners, our next court session will be July 25th. July 25th, Tuesday, 9:30 a.m.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Jim.